Blender 5.0, the new build of Blender. There are a lot of cool new modifiers in Blender, but the three that really stood out to me are these ones here, which I'm going to cover each one individually. Each one of these examples, right, is the scatter on surface, and it's the instance on elements, and then the new array. And these things make it so easy for beginners because they work with a complex geometry node system, but you don't need to know anything about these nodes. You don't have to know how to work at all. If you're a beginner, all you have to do is essentially press buttons and drag sliders. So this makes it so much more accessible to people who want to use these cool things here to make sort of projects in Blender. This is a massive update, and even the new array modifier might not sound like a big deal, but it is so much more powerful and fast than the original method in Blender. So let's jump into it, and I'll show you how all three of these modifiers are useful and how you can use them. The first one we're going to look at is the scatter on surfaces. Then we'll look at the instances on elements, and then the new array system, which is a lot more powerful. So let's start with the scatter on surface. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to open up a fresh document of Blender 5.0. And let's start by just deleting all of the default objects. So I'm going to select them, I'm going to press delete. Let's go Shift A, let's go to our mesh options, add in a plane. And we'll tab into edit mode. We'll right click, we'll go subdivide. And we're gonna go here to our subdivide tab, and then let's come over here and give it something like 30 subdivisions. And what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna go to my proportional editing and then just come here and select any vertex once you've enabled the proportional editing. And you can kind of give this a little bit of sort of like a rough shape. It's just not exactly flat, a bit like a landscape. And then you can take any object you want. So in this case, let's go with maybe something like a plane. I'm gonna go G and Y, move it over. I'll tab into edit mode, and I'll just kind of rotate it on the X. And I'm just gonna real quickly, just to demonstrate this, I'll just scale it down. I'll add a whole bunch of loops by going Control R, and I'll make like what looks like a blade of grass, which I might like rotate a little bit, right? And then I'll just sort of come here and just maybe duplicate this a few times by rotating it like so, making sort of like a clump. You get the idea, okay? This is very rough, like that. And then I might just make some of them different sizes. I'm not gonna focus too much on this. I'm just gonna kind of show you a really practical kind of example here of how you could use this. So here I have this sort of clump of grass. And what I'll do is I'll select the object that I want this to all be added onto, which is a plane here. This is our ground. Then we're gonna go over to the modifiers. We're gonna go add modifier, search, and let's just type in scatter. And let's get the new scatter on surface modifier. And then there are two approaches you can take. You can just go over here to the object, which means you just come here to the eyedropper and then click on an individual object that you want to add. So in this case, I'll scale this down. I'll go Control A, just apply to scale. And then I'll select this again. And what I could do here is I can come here and increase the density. So for example, I can make it 120. And you can see this is really nice and dense. Another thing I might want to do is I might want to come over here to the distribution mask. I can actually determine how much distribution I want, right? So at the moment, if it's 1, it's a full distribution, and then it procedurally reduces it like so. But for now, let's just leave it at 1. There's also a seed value, so you can kind of change the scatter. And another cool thing is you go to the transform here, you can actually adjust how far it offsets like this from the plane. And you can also mess around with the alignment. By default, you want to go with the Z direction. And then there's also the scaling. So you can make this whatever scale you want to. So you can make it bigger or larger. And another cool thing is to collect the instance type. You can also do just a single object, or you can go ahead and I'll quickly just maybe give this a color. And I'll just give it sort of like a viewport color just so I can kind of see it's grass. There you go. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'll just duplicate this a few times. Maybe I'll take each one of these clumps and I'll make them all a little bit different, right? So they're not all exactly the same. This one I might come over here, drag things out a little bit, make things a little bit different lengths. You get the idea, right? Sort of like this sort of thing. And then what I can do, I can grab these separate objects. I can go M, I can create a new collection, and I'll call it maybe grass, and go ahead and create. And now with this object here of the scatter, I can actually go back to my modifier. And instead of doing it as a single object, I can click on a collection and then come here to the collection and now select that grass collection that contains all of those blades of grass. Now, if you get this situation over here where it kind of does that, all you have to do is come over here and click on pick instance, and it'll fix that situation for you. And now you can still come up here, you can still mess around with, for example, like the density, and you can up it to whatever amount you want. And you can see this is now a bit more randomized. So that's really, really powerful. And at any point you could come here to this grass collection. And if you wanted to, you can come in here and maybe add, for example, a UV sphere. And then scale that sphere down. Make sure to go Control A and apply if you did that in edit mode. And then you can maybe make like a simple rock or pebble like this. Just kind of it's embedded in the ground. And you could always give that a color. And then you can go ahead and maybe make some more pebbles, maybe make some of them a little bit smaller, a bit different shaped. And just like that here, you can see we now have this sort of nice distribution. So yeah, this is really, really powerful. Try and mess around with it, try it out and see how much you like it. So that is how to use the new scatter. And I'll also real quickly mention, if you wanted to do a custom map, you could just go over to your object data properties, give it a vertex group, and then go over into your weight paint. Then you can actually paint where you want this to be, right? So I'll paint randomly like this. You can go back into object mode and then go to your modifier again. And once you're back over here to scatter on surfaces, you can come to the distribution, click on here, and then that'll take away that value. And you can come here and get that group that we created over here. And now you have a custom way as well of, if you go into your weight paint, of actually painting where you want the distribution to be. Okay, so that's sort of like a basic overview of this new modifier. And the whole thing does work as well with geometry nodes, as you can see here, but you don't need to know anything about geometry nodes. All you need to know is just these basic settings over here. So go ahead, play around with that. So the next thing we'll look at is gonna be the instances on elements, which is really fun. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll go back over into the scene here. I'll kind of grab all of this stuff. I'll delete it for now, as we've already done that. I'll get rid of that grass collection, I'll delete it. And let's go Shift A, let's go to Mesh Options, add an icosphere. Then we're gonna go Shift A, we're gonna add in a Suzanne monkey head, scale her down. Control A will apply the scale, and maybe I'll just give it a color and maybe make it like red. And then I'm gonna go Shift D to duplicate, scale it a bit bigger, Control A, apply the scale, make another material, maybe I'll make this one sort of like blue. You get the idea here. I'm just gonna do that a few more times, okay? Just to make some different ones, and make them all different sort of sizes like that. And then you can select the object you want. Then you can go over to your modifier, add modifier, and you can go search and then type in instances, and you can go to the instances on elements. Then you can go to the eyedropper, and just like before, you can select the individual object, or, which I prefer sometimes, is just to select the group of objects you want scattered, M, create a new collection, and let's just call it monkey, and go create. And now we can come here to the collection, click on the collection dropdown and select that monkey collection. Now you can see it's not working quite the way you want. So what you need to do is you need to come here to pick instances once again. And now you can see this is what you have. If you're not happy with it, you can always come here and adjust the seed, and it'll place it in all sorts of different ways. You can also come here to the transform, and you can do a surface offset, which can be really handy. You can also come over here and scale one of these axes, or you can do it collectively. So for example, I can make them all 0.5, make them half the size. It's very, very powerful, very easy to kind of play around with. And there is also a mask. So if you want to kind of reduce the distribution or increase it. And once again, with that mask as well, the exact same thing, you are able to go to your object data properties and under the vertex groups, create a group, in which case, once again, you can paint a distribution, in which case you can go ahead and choose that here as well. Gives you the same option, making this customizable in that sense. Okay, so that is the new instance on elements modifier that comes in Blender 5.0. So now let's look at our last one, which I think is really awesome. This one's perhaps my favorite update, and that is the array modifier. This is so powerful and so useful. So let's hop back into our test scene here. I'll select all of this, I'll delete it, get rid of that collection. And now let's go Shift A. Let's just go to Mesh Options. Let's just add a monkey head. Let's right click, go Shade Smooth. And then let's go over to our modifiers. Click Add Modifier and search, and then type in Array. And you just have your default array legacy here. And you can see it now says in brackets legacy. But what we're interested in is the new array modifier, which should just say array. So you're gonna click on it. And this thing is absolutely insane, right? So just like before, you can still adjust the count like this. But what makes this one even more powerful now is all of these different settings here. For example, you can go here to the randomize, come to the drop down, and now there's all sorts of really cool ways you can randomize the axes here. You can see they can all be kind of offset. You can add noise. You can offset the rotations of each one of these. So you can give them different rotations, and you can make it uniform, and then you can also do the scale, and you can even do flipping like this, which is not just rotation, but actually flipping the direction itself. So this very quickly now gives you a way to randomize without having to add in an empty and use an empty object as an offset, right? Which is the way we used to do it. There's also a merge option. If you're doing sort of open-ended two pieces, for example, like you're making plumbing, you might want to use that. But in this case, I don't think that's useful for most people unless you're really kind of doing like architectural stuff, which I don't think most of you are. Then once again, there's a seed, so you can always go through it to get something that you like. And then you can see over here, there's an offset method and an endpoint method as well. Now this is really powerful, especially if you want to maybe make like sort of like a trail of random objects very quickly. There's all sorts of cases where this would be handy that you now no longer have to use like an empty or something as an offset object. Another thing I just want to show you as well, I didn't even touch this, is the shape over here. At the moment it's line, but you can also do circle. And the cool thing about the circle, if I quickly turn off the randomize, before we made a circle, it used to be so much work because we'd have to add in an offset object and then rotate it. But now we just grab this radius amount and we can spread it out. You can still mess around with the count and it'll automatically even out the spacing without having to rotate a dummy object in the middle. It'll do it all for you automatically. So this is really, really cool. And once again, with the randomize, you can still randomize the scale. All of that stuff works just fine. It's just so much better. This is one of the best updates, I reckon, in Blender 5.0 is the new array modifier. It's what we've all wanted for a long time. Blender's previous array modifier was very limited, but this is absolutely amazing. So go ahead and try it out, and also try out the curve method as well, in which case you have to actually sample a curve. I'm sure you could figure that out. And then there's the transform method, but main ones we'll use is the line and circle most of the time. So thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time, and remember to try these guys out. You'll really enjoy these modifiers in Blender.